Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook, y'all. Welcome back to our channel. We're back with a new week of What's for Dinner. We went to a Super Bowl party to start off the week, and I made a new recipe that I'm going to share with you guys today called creamy crab soup. And we've got some other delicious homemade meals. I hope you get some great ideas for things to cook at your house, and you enjoy this week's video.
I am making a recipe that I've not made in about 20 years for a creamy crab soup. Once you cut everything up, I've already cut my green onions, which I'm gonna saute in the butter, and then I've got to open some crab meat and pick through it and chop it up and chop up, yes, I know, horror, imitation crab meat. Lump crab meat is a little bit out of my budget, but this is a good soup. You basically just jump in half and half or milk and some cream of soups. The original recipe calls for celery. I'm not a celery fan, so I do 2 mushroom and 1 chicken. And you're supposed to add some sherry, I think, to cut the richness. I don't have that on hand. I Googled, one of the recommended substitutes for sherry was white wine vinegar. I'm gonna taste it before I add it and see if it needs it. I don't wanna give the soup that sour taste from the vinegar, but I'm going to open up my crab meat and pick through it and chop the crab. I've already chopped the green onion, so this is a very easy recipe. You just dump and go after that for creamy crab soup.
As I said, I haven't made this recipe in 20 years. My original printed recipe called for 2 cans of crab claw meat. I could not find that. I found these Bumblebee, just crab meat, in my Kroger or maybe in my Walmart. They had the little piece of paper or parchment paper on the top and the bottom. My original recipe says to pick over very carefully the canned crab claw meat for cartilage or bones. I picked all through this and couldn't find anything. It was really good quality meat, so that helped me out tremendously to get everything prepped for the easy crab soup. The last bit of prep work was to take the 1 pound of imitation crab meat and chop it up. I ended up dicing it a little too fine and it sort of melted into the soup, and you'll see later in the video that I went back and got some more crab and cut it a little bit thicker. I would actually do this again. It ended up being 2 pounds of imitation meat and 2 cans of the canned crab meat, so it was a lot of meat, it was a lot of expense, but it turned out to be a really delicious soup. I melted the stick of butter and then sauteed the green onions in it. And then after those had cooked a couple minutes, I started adding the soup. As I said in the intro, it calls for 1 can of cream of mushroom, 1 cream of chicken, and 1 cream of celery, which I don't like, so I used 2 mushroom and 1 chicken. Rather than just pouring in the half and half, I took my soup cans and poured some in there and sloshed it around to get the rest of it out. Then add in the canned crab meat and the chopped up imitation crab. Then I did add some seasonings, a little bit of salt, some white pepper to taste, and I didn't show it on camera, but I also got out my Old Bay and added a dash or 2 of it.
I just ran to the store and got another package of crab meat. I diced the first one so thin it's in small pieces, so I'm gonna dice this bigger and add it to my soup that's in the crock pot that we are taking to our Super Bowl party. So since we'll be at our Super Bowl party, I won't get to show, well, I'm hoping to get to film it. If not, this is what we're bringing, the crab soup. Hopefully I will get a chance to get my camera out or my phone and get some footage of the other soups and the other snacks and appetizers. But crab soup is what's for dinner tonight.
And y'all know me, I took my camera. This is our Sunday School's big Super Bowl party. Starting off with the appetizers, we had several big, amazing cheese boards and trays that had all kind of cheeses and crackers and fruit, homemade apple butter, homemade jams, some meat and cheese rolls, a lot of fruit. I could have just eaten from that, but the highlight was all of the soups. There was a chicken Santa Fe in the Instant Pot, a vegetable beef soup, another crock pot of crawfish bisque. Several people brought crackers. There was some homemade cornbread. That's a white chicken chili. It was good. It had a really good kick to it at the end. Another lady brought a chicken tortilla soup with some crispy tortillas on top. And then down at the end is some homemade cornbread and my crab soup. Hopefully everybody liked it. I came home with an empty crock pot, so I consider that a big success. Everything I tasted was delicious. I was full, but that did not keep me away from the dessert table, which had some cookies and brownies and cheesecake. We had an amazing time watching the Super Bowl. What you do not see is Tim outside grilling some sausages. That's because he grilled them at lunch when I wasn't around. So for supper, I had planned to have grilled sausages in the air fryer, along with some sweet potato chunks and some onions that I just simply dressed with olive oil, salt and pepper, and some seasonings. I think I used Italian, oregano, and a dash of chili flake, and cooked those in the air fryer.
Another easy weeknight meal. Tim had seen the sausages I had thawing out in the refrigerator for dinner, and he slipped outside at lunch when I wasn't available and grilled them on the outdoor grill, so we warmed them up in the air fryer at the end. I did the sweet potatoes and onions in here with olive oil and seasonings, and we're just gonna have sausage, potatoes, and onions. I'm gonna have some fruit, try to be healthy. That's what's for dinner tonight.
Football season might officially be over since the Super Bowl is come and gone, but I am still making easy meals, and some of these are what we call game day food. This is another pantry meal for me. I had the crescent rolls in the refrigerator. I had some ham that I had bought at Kroger and frozen, and I had some cheese that I got on sale. So these are some easy ham and cheese roll-ups. I just pinched all the crescent roll dough together, rolled it out as thin as I could, layered it with ham and then cheese, rolled it up long way and sliced it into logs or pinwheels. I put each of the little roll-ups or pinwheels in a greased baking dish and then mixed up the topping. I took some melted butter, added some mustard, just regular ballpark mustard, some dried onion, and some poppy seeds, and a dash of Worcester sauce. Poured it over it and baked these uncovered in a 350-degree oven for 25 minutes.
And this is what they look like when they come out. There's a little bit of butter floating around, so I'm going to give them about 4 or 5 minutes and let it reabsorb into the ham and cheese roll-ups. So after about 4 or 5 minutes, all the butter reabsorbs, and these are the ham and cheese roll-ups. We're just going to have them with a simple salad, pretty much in everything but the kitchen sink salad, everything I had, including avocado. I'm having some blueberries with mine. So ham and cheese roll-ups and salad is what's for dinner tonight.
I'm still working on pantry meals, and probably my #1 favorite pantry meal is one we've shared on the channel before, and I will leave a link to that both in an iCard above and in the description box below. It's called Crock-Pot Chicken Santa Fe. It's something that I always have the ingredients for on hand: frozen chicken breasts or thighs, black beans, frozen or canned corn, some seasonings, salsa, and then you finish it off with a block of cream cheese. The crock pot version is very easy, and so I tried to adapt it to the Instant Pot. It came out really, really well. We will be sharing this in the next week or so in a separate video, so look for that.
Tonight we are having chicken Santa Fe, which I've been making for 20 years, but rather than doing it in the crock pot, I have tried it for the first time in the Instant Pot. And the verdict is?
Good.
It's good. We'll have a separate video on this in the next week or two. It's very similar to the one I did in the crock pot, so if you don't have an Instant Pot, don't worry, you can do it in the crock pot. Tim has his on chips. I have mine on brown rice, and then we top it with avocado, shredded cheese, jalapenos, sour cream, things like that. So Instant Pot Chicken Santa Fe is what's for dinner tonight. Tim is being very sweet and working on some leftovers for me, so I took this opportunity to make something he doesn't like. I've shown it before, but avocados are in season and very inexpensive, so I'm having another avocado toast with a fried egg on top. My egg busted when I flipped it, but it will be good. Some fruit and yogurt, my kind of meal. That's what's for dinner tonight.
Waiting on me? What you eating? Good looking guy takes you out for lunch. What's so funny? You don't like me vlogging in public, do you? Everybody's staring at you. It's because you're so cute. When your really good looking and very sweet husband asks you last minute to go out on an impromptu lunch date, you take him up on it. We went to the local Mexican place. We'd not had Mexican in a while. We ate all the chips and salsa. Tim got a beef burrito with rice and beans. I got a chicken enchilada with rice and beans, and I got out of cooking. Tonight we had cereal. And a bonus, a dessert recipe. Again, like the Santa Fe, this is one we've shared on the channel. This was one of the first videos that I ever did, so please be kind if you go watch it. These are called no-fail pan cookies. I doubled them. You can use any kind of chip you have. This is also a pantry meal for me. I always have all of these ingredients on hand. It is easy to whip up. Much like my fudgy brownies, you don't need a stand mixer or a hand mixer. You need a bowl and a wooden spoon. Mix it all together. Bake it for about 25 or 30 minutes at 350 degrees. The dough is really, really thick. They come out delicious, and these are no-fail pan cookies.
Tonight is all about you. The red carpet, the balloons, the celebration, it is just for you. It is because we love you. It is because you matter. It is because you are special. And there is a great purpose for your life. For every single one of you, we are naming you the king or the queen of the prom.
This is the 6th year that the Tim Tebow Foundation has sponsored Night to Shine. Our church has done it for a few years, but it was our first time to volunteer. We grabbed a bite at Wendy's beforehand, and then we got there and helped set things up, and were able to cheer the ladies and gentlemen that came on the red carpet. They had hair and makeup for them. They had games. They had karaoke machine. And then they had the dance with all the music at the end. All the balloons came down. We had a wonderful time serving and sharing God's love with everyone. If you ever get a chance to volunteer at this event, we thoroughly recommend it. Our church also invited a local retired pastor who is an amazing artist and caricature. We caught him at the end as we were leaving, drawing people, and he offered to draw a quick picture of Tim and I, which we may frame or put on the refrigerator. So we're going to end without food, but on a high note. If you ever get a chance to volunteer at Night to Shine, you should do it. It's well worth it. Thanks so much for stopping by our channel. Let's cook, y'all. Hope you have a wonderful and truly blessed day. And remember, you're special, and God loves you, and we love you.